Hey business owners, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the key differences between filing taxes as an LLC versus an S-Corp. And whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, I want to make sure you have the information you need to make an educated decision on your filing status come tax time. But before we jump in, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any wealth building information. We cannot afford to. Now, let's just get after it. For starters, let's just talk about what is an LLC. So many people go out and open LLCs and they're clueless as to what an LLC is. That's the first thing I got to educate you on. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, LLC, Limited Liability Company. You can go out and you can create an LLC. You could be a single member LLC, meaning I'm the only owner, or I can be a multi-member LLC, meaning it's myself and other members in my LLC. It's so important to use the proper terminology. When you are an LLC owner and people are actually members inside of your LLC. So we want to make sure that you understand that. An LLC is a flow-through entity. You might be thinking, what does that mean, Carla? A flow-through entity means that LLC eventually is going to wind up on your personal income tax return. That's what it means. That's what flow-through means. Eventually, the income or the loss is going to appear on your personal income tax return. That's something else I want you guys to understand. What does it mean to be an FTE, a flow-through entity? When you have an LLC, your LLC can be taxed as a corporation unless you elect it to be a flow-through entity. Most people are going to elect to be taxed as a flow-through entity. Very few people want their LLCs taxed as a C corporation, just so you are fully aware. So it's important that you understand that when you form an LLC, you have some decisions to make. Do I want to be taxed as a C corporation? Do I want to be taxed as a flow-through entity? Or do I even want to elect S-CORP status? So these are things that you got to vet out and things that you absolutely have to consider when you form that LLC. What is an S corporation? Now this is important and I want you to really understand it. An S corporation is a corporation that you form with the Secretary of State. It is going to mean you're going to have articles of incorporation, whereas when you have an LLC, you have articles of organization. Completely different. When you have an S corporation, you are going to be a shareholder of the S corporation. You may decide you're going to be the only shareholder, or you can have up to 100 shareholders when you are an S corporation. But it's important to understand that it is a corporation. You have just made a decision to elect to be a small business corporation. That requires paperwork to be filed with IRS to make that election. It is not automatic. You incorporate just like you are a regular traditional C corporation, but you must elect S-Corp status. What is the difference between a taxation of an LLC and a taxation of an S corporation? If you are an LLC and you are a flow-through LLC, not a C corp, but a flow-through LLC, the character of the income in a flow-through LLC, if you are in an active business, is going to be subject to self-employment tax. If you are running real estate through your LLC, long-term rentals that you're holding for investment property, that is the only time that an LLC's net profit is not going to be subject to self-employment tax. But as an LLC owner, and let's say that I am selling online, let's say I'm doing a service business, let's say I'm a restaurant owner, my net profit is going to be subject to federal income tax, state income tax if I'm in a taxable state, and self-employment tax, which is completely different from income tax. That is so important for you guys to understand and to really get straightened out and get that knowledge before you're in, because too many of you are not being aware of that extra layer of tax, and it's literally killing your business profits. S corporation owners are not subject to self-employment tax as a rule of thumb. However, if you operate as an S-Corp owner, you have to take a payroll. Why is that? Because it's a requirement by IRS. You are a shareholder and you need to be taking wages out of your S corporation. And when I say take wages, my friends, I do not mean take money out of your corporation and then you say to yourself, oh, these are my wages. No, I mean an actual payroll check. I mean, you're actually going to pay yourself. You're going to withhold federal and state income taxes. You're going to pay Medicare taxes, Social Security taxes, state unemployment, whatever the case may be. And at the end of the year, your business is going to issue you a W-2 form. That is going to be your wages. As an S-Corp owner and as an LLC owner, you can take money out of your entity. You can take distributions, is what we call it when you are owning a flow-through entity. But do not confuse distributions with payroll. That is not your payroll. That is your profit that you are taking out of your business. Payroll actually requires the issuance of a W-2 at the end of the year. And if you are an S-Corp owner, you want to make sure that you have a W-2. Many of you may be asking, Carla, how much should my W-2 be? That's a great question, right? As a rule of thumb, 30% and below of profit as a rule of thumb. But that's also going to depend on what else you have going on. Make sure you take a W-2 if you are an S-Corp owner. Evaluating your business structure. Before you elect to be an LLC or to form an LLC, or to change your filing status from an LLC to an S-Corp, or before you elect to incorporate and become an S corporation, it's so important to evaluate your business structure. What type of business are you operating? What type of liability does your business have? What are you going to be doing as the service or the thing that you are doing to make money in your business? What are the tax implications that you're going to have? How formal do you want your business to be? How much paperwork are you going to want to file? All of these things come into question when you're thinking about the type of business that you want to operate. Creating a business is like giving birth to a child. Once it's out there, you have to take care of it. And it can be costly, which is why it's important to know what you're doing. And when I say costly, not just costly in operating, costly in ignorance for what you don't know when it comes to being a business owner. So it's so important to understand the structure and all the implications of forming an LLC or an S corporation. So when you're evaluating your business structure, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be an LLC or do you want to be an S corp? Do you want to just take money out of your business or do you want to take money out of your business and payroll? Do you want to file a separate tax return or only file your individual tax return? These are the things that you have to consider. Do you want to pay for an extra tax return or only pay for your individual tax return? Do you want to have members inside of your LLC or do you want to have shareholders inside of your S corporation? When you can answer some of those questions, you're going to be ready to form the proper entity that's going to be best for you.